Thoughts of a Black Man. Let's get it started. So, I want y'all to take a as I'm talking, and I'm going to read what it says on this image here, but I want you to take a look at the image itself. And in particular, take a look at what Joe Rogan is looking like right now. All right. Look at his face. Now, for those of you who pay attention to anything Joe Rogan news about him or watch some of his podcast episodes, you get the impression with him that if he doesn't agree with something, you'll kind of know about it. And to me, just looking at this image, it looks like it's really speaking a lot of words there. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, let me just read this real quick, what it says here. It says Trump warns Virginians against redistricting referendum. If the Democrats get additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level. All right. And I just thought that was very interesting. If this is indeed was what Trump said, I just thought it was very interesting. Right. Because, word is going around that if the Democrats, get back in power, so to speak, they are going to simply try to run Trump down to the ground. They're going to try to put him in jail. The impeachments is going to probably pop off, or the attempts of impeachments are probably going to pop off. And a whole host of other things they're going to probably try to attempt. But what really got me, though, is the look on Joe Rogan's face. He looks as if he's not really feeling what is going on in that room. Right? They say an image speaks 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying? And it's looking like right now it's Joe Rogan's face is really speaking a lot of words there. He's looking again like he's not really feeling what's going on in that room with Trump and these other guys in there. Right? So again, this just seems like Trump trying to do his thing to make sure he doesn't get hemmed up in the short term. Right? Because again, what it says, if the Democrats get additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level. And another thing, it's probably could be assumed or be guesstimation that if they do gain seats, that's going to put Democrats in more power, and they're probably going to change things in regards to the immigration situation. They're probably going to change things if they're able to, probably regarding ICE. And you got to sit back and, it makes you wonder about who does the Democrats really care about, right? It's almost like people are starting to show their real hands. And the hands ain't clean. They didn't wash them. It's like a lot of dirty hands. And not that I'm caping for sure, not caping for the Republicans, but I'm not caping for the Democrats either. And like I said, this thing like it's going to be some changes, and one of those changes, if that's possible, is definitely going to be immigrant related, for sure. It's going to be immigrant related, because it seems like the real play that they was trying to make a long time, for a while, is to have a new class of people to vote, to hopefully vote, or to get this new class being the immigrant class, and probably more likely immigrant class of Latinos, because we all know what Biden said in that so-called leaked Zoom meeting, that Al Sharpton didn't speak up when Biden told Al Sharpton and a few other black folks that were in that Zoom meeting what he said about Latinos or Hispanics, saying that black people are going to have to get with the Hispanics. And Sharpton didn't say not one single word back to Biden. Not even a, hey, hold on, Biden, we not going to go that far with it, that we going to have to go talk to the Hispanics. He didn't say a one word, not one. And again, like I said, man, this will be very interesting if the Democrats gain more seats. You'll see a whole host of things going down. And it's like, again, to me, it's like they don't care about the average people they represent. They caring about their bottom line and how things going to benefit them. And I spoke on this recently when I showed people the when I went through the presentation slide deck, where I showed that there were 357 members of Congress, and some of them are the people y'all love, like Jasmine Crockett, right? And a whole host of others who actually voted to hide the misconduct and sexual harassment cases that were going on in Congress or with the congressional people or their staffers. And that 357 comprised of both Republican and Democrats. And that should have really woke people up if people hadn't woken up before or waking up before. Because they'll get together on certain things like a sexual misconduct and sexual harassment cases, and they voted to block you and I from knowing any detailed information in regards to who was charged with the misconduct and the sexual harassment cases. They wanted us not to know how much money they were spending out, which we know 17 million at least is our tax dollars that's going to be paying the victims, like payoffs, to pay off these victims, but not let nobody know. The public, the general public, know. So both Democrats and Republicans got together. They got together on something like that. But they can't get together when it comes to reparations. But I'm kind of went around a little bit from what Trump was saying. And, I kind of was trying to connect the dots and then bring it back home by saying, again, the image speaks 1,000 words, and Joe Rogan don't look like he's 100% feeling. I don't know if it's what Trump said or something Trump said he wasn't feeling 100% or something, because his face looks way off compared to just being somebody that's around Trump and just cool and smiling. I think he doesn't agree with something, and that's why he has that look on his face. Whether it's about the redistricting referendum or something else that was said in that room, Joe Rogan doesn't look like he's happy about it. And so, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And I'll holler at y'all again later, man. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.